Do you want to know the secrets of how the rich and powerful of this world make their millions and billions and trillions of dollars and also live incredible lifestyles, much healthier and much different from the norm than what we're taught in traditional schools and our traditional education system and what we see all over the news and the media? Are you interested in learning about some of these secrets? If you do, listen up. Okay, let's rock. I got my bro here, and we're going to just talk about a lot of randomness. It's going to be chill and collective, and we're going to just enlighten our minds right now to talk about things about how business can be affected by things like diet, exercise, and a lot of other variables in future videos. And the reason we wanted to do this is, although you don't think of all this information when you're running a business, believe it or not, it affects your business. It affects your results. It affects your outcome, your profit, how much money you make, right? I mean, there's so many things that if you're not doing in your personal life that your business is going to suffer from, and so on. So we were talking earlier today before we rolled the cameras, and one of the first things that came to my mind was nutrition, and how growing up in the public school system, we were made to, they educated us and made to believe that, you had the, 4 food groups or 5 food groups? It was like...
It's always changing.
Yeah, like the grains, and then you had the meats, and then you had the dairy stuff, and all the different random stuff that you saw. And I'm trying to figure out, after growing up and learning about functional medicine, not that I'm a doctor in it or anything, but I have definitely done some research and biohacked a lot of different diets on my own body and things like that. But I'm trying to figure out why the heck they taught us that milk does the body good, and why cheese is always so promoted on every other commercial you seem to watch. You see Velveeta cheese and eat cheese, and you go to school and they tell you that's part of the main food groups to get your calcium. What the heck are we drinking milk for? Is it for calcium? I mean, so what I'm trying to figure out is why mainstream media and why the public school system is constantly teaching our young children that that's how we need to eat, when truly, in order to really find out what a person needs to eat is different from one person to another, right? I mean, you might have an allergy to peanuts and they're telling you, yeah, peanuts are high in protein, so you should have tons of peanuts in your diet. And then you have this one kid that has it and goes into anaphylactic shock and gets really sick or dies as a result of having peanuts because he thought he was getting protein. And then you have someone like myself that suffered with asthma and allergies my whole life. And I couldn't figure out why I had all these severe allergies and asthma my whole life. Well, heck, everything I'm eating was processed food and dairy products and all this stuff. And somehow I'm supposed to perform at my best. I'm supposed to go to school and learn the most. I mean, I was always headachy and exhausted. And growing up now I wonder why. I mean, what's your 2 cents? I don't know. It's a little bit bothersome, honestly. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, I've always wondered why it's not common knowledge how your body works inside and out by the time you're out of elementary school. I mean, we've taken the time to actually learn about it. It wasn't until later years. It takes a lot of study, research, a lot of trial and error to do it. When really, I feel like that's probably the first thing you should learn if you're in a school system is how your body works. Not only from a nutrition standpoint, but proper biomechanics, how to move correctly and work out and things like that. We've come to a place where, we've had some brilliant minds study these things, and they've really come up with some definitive works that map it out for us. And it's taken a lot of years for humans to come to this point. And when we're not looking what's right in front of us, we're suffering the consequences as a result, and we can see that in a lot of obesity and heart disease and a bunch of different stuff, cancer and injuries and athletics and fitness and all that. So Yeah, like you said, basically, you had to go through trial and error with your asthma.
Yeah.
You had to suffer so many years before and you were lucky to actually turn it around. Most people, well, a lot of people will go through and just suffer their whole life, never get the answer. And we generally speaking are very unaware of how our own body works.
Yeah, and neither one of us are doctors, okay? And we're not trying to disrespect all of medicine, okay? Because I believe that there's many instances when you go to the doctor and the doctor's going to save your life, right? If you get in a car wreck and you're bleeding out or something like that, they're going to perform surgery and save your life. There's so many reasons to go to the doctor. But what I learned throughout my life, and again, I was experimenting on my own body at a young age when you don't know any better and you're a kid. My mom would take me to the asthma doctor, take me to the general doctor, and they would give me different pills. I remember one of them was called like a Theodore pill or something, and it helped supposedly suppress the asthma. And then I had your traditional inhaler called what was it called? It was like an aerosol type of deal, Prevental, or I don't know, albuterol. It was albuterol, an albuterol inhaler. And then they gave me this disc. I remember this company came out and they gave me this big purple disc called Advair. And you would it was a circular disc, and you would push the thing and it would produce like a chalky substance, and you would suck it into your lungs. And I just remembered wow, all this chalky stuff's going straight into my lungs. Is that good? And there's always the side effects and stuff like that. But kind of what I learned as I got a little bit older was, if I ever went to the doctor, that I was getting, treatment for my pain, right? So if I had a headache or I had asthma, they had these pharmaceutical drugs that were giving me a solution to suppress the pain, the inflammation. That's what their goal was. But what they never told me, taught me, explained to me was, what was the root cause? What was the cause of my asthma? Was there a cause, or was I just born with it and just told that I had to deal with it for the rest of my life? Tough crap. You got asthma. Sorry, buddy. But keep eating those 4 food groups, right? And you might be wondering, we on this channel, we talk mostly about business. And why are we talking about all this nutrition? Well, I'll tell you freaking why, is because your entire life and how you carry yourself and how you feel and how you react when you're dealing with customers and employees and things like that, everything you do comes from within, from your body and how you feel. If you feel like junk, you had a terrible night's sleep, you're eating foods that don't work well for your body type or your body, whatever, you're going to probably not be working at optimum conditions, okay? That's going to affect your business and your bottom line. So that's why we're really homing in on this. But this is more, we're going to do more than just this episode on this channel, because I think it's vital for everybody to understand and share this. Spread the word with your friends and your family to understand that when you're going to a traditional doctor, they're going to typically, okay, in most cases, try to treat the symptom and suppress it. If you got a headache, maybe you have Tylenol and Advil in your car, and you pop a couple Tylenol and Advil and your headache goes away. That doesn't fix the reason why you got the headache in the first place. That's what we're talking about right now. What is the freaking root cause of the headache? It might have been because your body doesn't like MSG. And you went to some fast food restaurant and you had a bag of chips that had MSG and whatever else, or you went to, a restaurant and they had soy sauce that had MSG or whatever, okay? But that's what caused the headache. But have you ever gone to a doctor and they were like, have you had any MSG? Have you had any dairy? Have you had any of this? Because some people's body types don't react very positively with that stuff. Has a doctor ever told you that? Or is it, I got a headache or I got a problem with asthma. Okay, here's your prescription. Just go to CVS Pharmacy or wherever the heck and get your prescription and take this twice a day. That's what I was on. And I realized over time, this happened 6-7 years ago when I went and finally saw a functional medicine doctor that studied epigenetics. Again, the root cause of illness and all this stuff. And I realized that if I took certain things out of my diet and I added certain things and maybe added certain vitamins, right, things I was deficient in, that it completely transformed how I felt every day. My sleep was better, my energy levels were better, and things like that. And I experimented on my own body. I didn't go to the traditional doctor and say, hey, I got all these problems going on with me. Heck, they would have given me 7 or 12 or 15 freaking drugs, And then if those didn't work or caused side reactions, they would give me different ones. It's like we're a bunch of guinea pigs to these pharmaceutical companies. And again, this is not a conspiracy theory for those of you listening. This is fact. Your body may or may not like certain types of foods, and it will react differently. Maybe you drink like 3 cups of coffee every day and you shouldn't have coffee, and you're putting all this creamer and sugar and all this stuff into your stuff. That might be a big problem. Maybe that's why you're feeling grumpy and grouchy if you don't have coffee. Who knows? So we're here to basically just kind of open up about, things that affect business and whatnot. I mean, what are your 2 cents? I know I kind of went on a tangent there, but I just can't help it. Share the experimentation, the wisdom. I mean,
yeah, it's something that can cause a lot of damage and go unnoticed unless you're aware about it. So you're wanting to, basically, raise the awareness so that people start paying a little more attention to, how they feel after they eat certain things and after they drink certain things. And, like you said, I mean, all your results come from how you feel. So, if you're feeling like crap, then you're going to act like crap and get crap results, across the board, wherever you're at, and vice versa. So, it definitely is something we need to, it needs to be common knowledge. It's your body, you only get one of them, and the race that you're running every day is in that machine, and, you need to keep it as up to speed as possible. So
you had said something earlier today that just super piqued my interest and really is unexplainable, other than the fact that these type of potential restaurants don't spend the money on ads that the fast food chains do, right? So we were joking about, why is it that there's thousands of McDonald's and thousands of Taco Bells and all these fast food chains, Kentucky Fried Chicken, that serve all this food, that have all these chemicals mixed into their sauces and everything that they do. That's all factual. We're not talking smack, it's how it is, okay? You don't go to McDonald's and get some organic salad. They're gonna give you the cheapest lettuce they bought in bulk, and it probably is not organic. And if you don't know what the difference is, organic versus unorganic, is they're gonna spray your lettuce, your vegetables, whatever they're putting on your salad, whatever farm they bought it from, they're spraying that stuff with pesticides, like bug spray. Think about that for a second, right? So you're going to a fast food joint and you're ordering a salad and you're like, oh, this is healthy, right? Because I'm going to eat healthy now, right? So I'm going to get my salad that, little do I know, was originally, when it was on the farm, being sprayed nonstop with pesticides. Think about that. So that's, to some degree, this is common sense. Maybe somebody's going to prove me wrong with a bunch of links on Google somewhere saying that there's no proof that pesticides on food are harmful. I mean, there's so many random things that people could try to pull up, but I'm just going with common sense here. I think it is harmful. I don't think it's good for a human body to be shoving all those pesticides. And we wonder why in our country we have probably some of the highest rates of cancer and things like that versus other countries that aren't doing this to their vegetables and stuff in their farms. But you go and you get your salad and then you think, oh, I'm eating healthy. And they're like, oh, what kind of dressing do you want? And you're like, oh, I'll take the ranch and the this and the that. And then you probably never look on the back of the pack to see how much crap ingredients are in that salad dressing. So you think you're eating healthy. You want to eat a healthy salad, you have to go to somewhere like a Whole Foods, and you got to go to their salad bar, and you have to go to the organic section of the salad bar and get all the vegetables that are organic, meaning they were not sprayed with pesticides. And then when you get to the dressing, you don't want to just cake on all this ranch and all this other crap. You need to probably squeeze lemon, put olive oil, balsamic vinaigrette, things like that don't have all these additives and things like that. That's probably the basics of what you do. But going back to that conversation that you had earlier with me, which really kind of got my mind thinking, is where's the fast food chain and the commercial for that fast food chain that you see all the time that serves all this organic food that gives you energy, that gives you, makes you feel good, and doesn't make you feel so bogged down? I mean, I don't know how many of you have ever gone to like, I don't know, I don't want to, maybe like a Chipotle or like, your local Chinese restaurant or something like that, and you've went and had lunch, and then when you're done eating lunch, it puts you in a half coma. You can barely finish off your day. You start getting lightheaded or a headache. You feel like crap. You're wondering why you got this headache. You were fine up until you had lunch. You might have had a good breakfast that was simple, some bacon and basic protein and vegetables, whatever. You had a good breakfast, but then you got to lunch and it's like noontime and you like bombed your gut with all this fast food crap, MSG, grains, things that just bog your system down. So, it kind of sadly comes down to the fact that in order to have commercials on TV, you have to have money to spend with the networks to advertise your business. And so these giants that over the last 50, 60, 80, 100 years, I think White Castle's been around for over 100 years, right? So you're talking like 50 to 100 plus year fast food restaurants. These people have slowly built empires off of all this quick fast food over the last 100 years or so. And so now these corporations that have shareholder money, that own their real estate, that are profitable, can now afford to advertise in every market, in every city, and in other countries even about their brand. And their food, when you're a kid, it tastes good. Who didn't like the Happy Meal? Who doesn't like, a bean burrito or some nachos from Taco Bell? Like, people love that. And it tastes great, right? But then you start realizing, wow, you're having negative responses from all of that. And again, how do you go back to work? How do you go to your company? How do you go to your business? And how do you have a higher level of tolerance when your body's just literally, your nerves are shutting down from all the negative crap you're feeding your body? You heard the old saying, you've heard it multiple times, you are what you eat. And if you're going to put trash in your body and junk food in your body's going to turn to junk, and your output is going to be junky. Your results are going to be junky. And then, I got guys, we're in the trading card business. I remember there were guys that get in their 50s and they were done. They're ready to retire. They're already on, 10 or 12 or 15, 20 medications, just trying to get through because they're just, they're just always just having fast food and junky food and donuts and things like that just to get through. And then they get diabetes and all this stuff. A lot of times, I'm not saying some of it's not, hereditary, but a lot of that stuff is self-induced from what you were eating. So I agree with you when we were talking earlier about kind of where's that, that organic-y, like you'll see like every city's got them if you like Google and you'll type like organic restaurants near me or gluten-free restaurants near me, and all that stuff. You'll find those like gems, right? And they cost a lot more. If you go have a meal there, they're not cheap. You don't get your Happy Meal for like $3 or $4 or $5. You end up spending like 20 or 30 bucks on one meal for one person, but you feel good after it. So, well, I don't know. I don't want this video to go super long. We're going to do more videos like this, but anything you'd like to add in closing? I know I kind of did a lot of talking here. Yeah,
I mean, in the end, you have to raise, the awareness, and then you have to execute after that. So as a country, we would have to prioritize health over other things. And then once we all are on the same page there, then we can start drafting up plans to actually put it into action. I think it's a unanimous thing that everybody wants to feel good. So it's just a matter of dialing in the education and then the nutrition and supplementation after that. So we can have as many people feeling as good as possible. And from there, watch your GDP quadruple. Boom.
I highly recommend doing your own research before just believing what we've been groomed. And, if you're, 15, 18, 21 years old, 25, 30, you're never too old to do your own research. And Google and YouTube and all these places are great sources of gathering information. Not everything, of course, is truth, right? There's some articles that aren't and whatnot, but it's up to you to do your own, research and figure it out. But let's try to change the traditional system and start, kind of basically standing up for our own bodies, our own selves, and saying, hey, look, maybe what we've been fed, on billboards, on TV, on radio all our lives, maybe it's not really the truth. And let's be honest, in most cases, the people that are doing the ads and producing that stuff, there's some financial incentive, that's in for it. And as of right now, I've done over 120 videos on this channel. I haven't tried to sell anybody a single book, subscription, anything or whatever. I might do that someday, and I'm sure the day that I do, it'll be funny, because then all of a sudden you get demonized because you're trying to make a profit. You're trying to do something, and I can't wait for that to come, because we're people can obviously form their own opinions or whatever. But as we're filming this stuff right now, it's simply to just serve. We're still going through COVID right now, COVID-19 in 2020. If you're watching this in the future, you might look at this and say, wow, that was interesting information, or is unnecessary, whatever. I kind of form my own opinion, but let's take the time. Each person, you're responsible for yourself, for your own body, for your own health. And the decisions that you're going to make today are going to affect you tomorrow, and 10 years from now, and 50 years from now, if you live that long, right? And so quality of life is what we're talking about. So while we're running our businesses, don't we want to feel good? Don't we want to not fight this uphill battle of just aggravation and headaches and frustration and how you feel? And if you could do something about it simply by changing what you're eating or exercise, we're going to talk about exercising and how the natural endorphins that build up, and run through your body and things like that, how huge that is. Let's focus on that. Let's focus on making positive changes, because remember, good results bring even greater, good habits, good decisions bring even greater results. That's what I was trying to say. So in closing, I just want to let everybody know in this video that you're ultimately up for the decisions you make is what's going to dictate your life and how you feel. And whatever's going on in your life, no matter how hard it's getting, remember that all you got to do is just keep stepping forward and do the best you can do and be the best you can be. And remember, like I always say, make it happen.